Hello, everybody. This is Card Guy Chris Ellis,
We're collectible, Chris.
and we are with our new week. So let's see what we got.
Week 10 was very interesting. Unfortunately, my sleeper picks didn't live up to the hype a little bit, except for one. But player of the week, we both went with Justin Jefferson. Just had a monster game against the Bills with the miraculous comeback of the Vikings had in overtime. Jefferson had 193 reception yards with a TD. Rookie. I'm gonna go with Kenny Pickett, who had a good game. Got his first win as a starter. 199 passing yards with no TDs, but 51 rushing yards with a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, and I'm going with the guy from um, Damar Hamlin. He from the Bills. He had a pretty good game with 8 solo and 3 assists for 11 tackles. Again, even though they lost yesterday to the Vikings, he still had a pretty good game. And go ahead.
Defense wise, I'm going with a Carolina Panther. I'm going with Frankie Louvu. Had a good game against the Falcons with 8 tackles, 4 assists, and he also had 2 sacks on Mariota. So,
Yeah, and my rookie's also my big defensive player, so
all right.
we'll go there.
All right, so we're not going to be doing much on card investments this week. Until we actually get to our basketball talks. We're going to talk about the top 10 college football polls right now. Top four are still the only undefeated teams, but that will change since a rivalry game will be coming up. Number one, the Georgia Bulldogs, so still 10-0. 2 and 3 in the same division, and one of the best rivalries. We talked about weeks prior, Ohio State against Michigan. How Ohio State at number 2, Michigan at number 3, both 10-0. And at number 4, it's been a long time since we've seen this. TCU ranked in the top 5, and they are also 10-0. Number 5, Tennessee at 9-1 with their one loss coming against Georgia. Number 6, LSU at 8-2. 7. It's going to be USC 9-1. Alabama has moved up a little bit at ranked number 8 at 8-2. Clemson ninth with 9-1. Utah at 8-2 with the final 10 spot. So
Yeah, we'll eventually get to the SEC championship game. Of course, you got the Big 12 with um, or Big 10, however you want to put it, um, with Ohio State and Michigan, and then TCU, of course, with their conference. So, I mean, I think you're probably looking at it, Georgia playing probably LSU for the SEC championship, the way it's looking.
and of course, I will be looking forward to the ACC championship because as of right now, it's going to be Clemson against UNC, and UNC is ranked at number 13 right now, also at 9-1. That'll be good too. I would love to see UNC in the top 10 for the first time in a minute.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I mean, all those. I mean,
Because everyone was dogging on Tennessee 2 years ago, and now they're in the top 10. They beat
yeah,
Bama.
I think Georgia. I still think that Georgia and Ohio State, depending on how they have the 14 bracket done, Georgia and Ohio State will probably meet for the national championship.
Uh, I want to say that. It depends on the SEC championship for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, as of right
Even
now,
if Georgia loses the game, if they're number one, I don't see them getting knocked past fourth.
yeah. Well, because Ohio State and Michigan, one of them is not going to be on the top four. Right now, the top four in my eyes, I see Bulldogs, State. I still think TCU will remain undefeated. I want to say Tennessee. We'll have another SEC type of deal again, but I don't see Bama coming back to the ranks because of their two
No,
losses. So
I don't see Bama in the top four. I mean, like I say, if you don't play in your conference championship game, you shouldn't be in the top in the bowl game. Period.
No, agreed.
I mean, you should go to a bowl because your record is definitely worthy of a bowl game, but you should not be playing for the national championship.
I just hate the fact that the major bowl games are considered the playoffs. Unfortunately,
Well, yeah,
because like a Rose Bowl, to me that was a to me I liked the Rose Bowl more than the championship game because typically the Rose Bowl was usually a better game anyway. But
yeah.
I mean, um, but other than that, I mean, I would love to see a ACC team be on the top four, but that's got to be impossible right now. Because if Clemson manages, I can see Clemson sneaking in.
I mean, if they play a ranked team, like if UNC can get ranked a little bit higher, well, we'll know more when the college football poll comes out.
Because LSU might lose another game. I don't see USC losing, so honestly, if someone was going to sneak into the Final Four, it'll either be USC or Clemson.
Yeah, I don't see an 8-2 team. I really don't. I don't think an 8-2 team should go over some of these teams.
No, I agree. I mean, shoot, UNC is still 13th, and they have a better record than Utah, the 11th and the 12th place team. So, but just give them another week, they'll be in the top 10. I mean, granted, I mean, at least we see multiple divisions in the top 10 for the first time in a while. So,
no, that's true too. Yep. So, okay, next.
all right. So, we really haven't done much with basketball. Unfortunately, I don't watch basketball like I used to. I don't have cable for one thing. But when I get a chance to, I listen to the ESPN radio. They do have a couple games on right now. You want to talk about? I got the Eastern Conference right now.
That's fine.
Okay, so Eastern Conference, the Bucks are leading the division with 10 wins and 2 losses, which is phenomenal. Celtics right behind them by a half game at 10-3. I'm a Miami Heat fan. I've been a Heat fan since my family moved back to the States back in 2003. And 2003, of course, Dwayne Wade was a rookie. So I just loved the way he played. And, of course, I grew up with Allen Iverson, too. So those two were my top 2 favorite players. And then Kyle Korver was also a great player. So, and I'm saying that now because every single time I say I'm a Heat fan, people say I'm a Heat fan because of LeBron. No. Wade was the Heat. Let's get that straight. Dwayne Wade was the Heat. So, I always have to do that spill. Sorry, Dad. But right now, to me, the biggest disappointment to me in the division right now is the Hornets. I thought they would be a better team this year, especially the way that they handled everything last year. And they're tied with the worst team in the Eastern Conference right now at 3-11. So,
wow, yeah, I'm kind of surprised with that. I mean, yeah, I mean,
because I'm not disappointed in the Nets right now. They're 6-8. I'm not disappointed in the Bulls. They're 6-8 as well. I knew they would slack a little bit, and they're 6-7. So
yeah, I mean, the season just started.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, the Hawks. I mean, I think the Hawks are going to be scary, especially since they got Murray from San Antonio with Trey, Trey Young. I mean, that's going to be scary.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Cleveland got Mitchell in that trade, but a lot of people thought Utah would be hurting, and they're playing great basketball. So I mean,
oh yeah,
I think once we get around the 82 games, once we get to
I'd say about the 25th game,
25th or anywhere between 25 and 30 games played, we'll know what teams are and aren't. I mean, there's some teams with some injuries already, like the Grizzlies have Danny Green. He's hurt right now. So let's look at the Western Conference and see how that.
Top 3 players people should be collecting right now in the Eastern Division.
I'm gonna go with Giannis as number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with Donovan Mitchell because a lot of his stuff is still pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And I've loved Mitchell, that since the beginning. And
yeah.
I was calling for him to be MVP a couple years ago in Utah because of the way he was playing. Let's see. I mean, you can't go wrong with um, the center for Philly.
Joel.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Joel Embiid either. I mean,
Joel Embiid is a beast.
I mean, there's plenty of people to collect through the whole Eastern Conference, but if I was going to go the top three, I'd go with Giannis, Mitchell, and Embiid. Who do you think you?
Well, Giannis first because I mean he has the most value, and as well as like the best market around him.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, from a guy from Milwaukee, and he just built that on him. So I agree with that. Two, I am gonna actually pull someone from left field a little bit, even though he is a member of my team, Jimmy Butler.
I would have said Butler too. I would have put him probably at 4 or 5.
Right. I
Probably behind either in front of or behind Jason Tatum.
well,
Could have been easily number in the top 3 too.
you see, I would have him at 4, but Butler's rookie flawless auto. You know about those autos.
Mm-hmm.
His auto, the out of 15, sold for 400 off of eBay.
Oh wow!
And ungraded. So I'm saying Butler not only because of market wise, but just seeing the consistency. So Giannis has the most marketability, but Butler has the most consistency. So that's why we got Butler at number 2 and at number 3. Dang, who? That's right. I'm actually going with who is that guy? What's his name?
For
It's the guy from the Raptors. I just cannot remember his name. Oh yeah, Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes, because Scotty Barnes, his rookie card has increased, but it's still affordable, for one thing. And Scotty actually has improved on his game so much that, I mean, I can go with Smart as well. I like Smart, but I got Smart at number 4 and have Barnes at number 3.
Marcus Smart is a good one.
And I cannot go wrong with Jason Tatum or Gordon Hayward.
Oh, I love Hayward.
Oh, I love Hayward too. I just wish he didn't get hurt last season, but since he's fully healthy, honestly, the Celtics are the most dangerous team in my opinion.
Well, Hayward's playing with the Bulls. So
Oh, that's right. Hayward's with the Bulls now. I forgot about that. My bad.
yeah. But I mean, I love Hayward. I love Hayward's game. Always have. So
I mean, and he was the baby face until he finally.
yeah.
And that, and, I mean, great Jazz.
I thought Boston was dumb getting rid of him.
Oh, well, we all know about Boston and their history of transactions. So, no. All right. So, Western Conference. Western Conference is a little shocking this year, and I think your team surprises you a little bit too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the team with the most wins is the Jazz at 10-5. But the people that are seen as like the top guys due to the record is the Trailblazers and the Nuggets at 9-4. But the biggest shockers this year is supposed to be the 2 best teams, who are now the letdowns. The Lakers and the Warriors. Lakers are right now at 3-10, where the Warriors are 5-8 right now. The season is still young, but at the same time, I got my own spiel about the Lakers, but I'll go ahead and let you talk first.
Yeah, I mean, I like where the Jazz are, especially with the moves that were made. They're still competing. You got the Grizzlies, who are a good young and up and coming team. I like how, the Mavericks are, with Luka. I mean,
Suns with Booker and Paul still.
Yeah, even the Pelicans, they got a good young team. If Zion can stay healthy, it'd be a great thing. Clippers, if they could just have Kawhi healthy and George healthy at the same time, that'd be a scary team. But injuries are just taking that team. But the Lakers are not shocking me. I thought they were a bad team to begin with. The Warriors are shocking me because they're a better team than what their record is. But I still think they should trade Damon Green away, especially from that incident that he had.
Agreed.
Um,
Everyone's saying about that too. So
I mean, bye. You should. I'm sorry. You would have been, if I had been the owner, you would have been done. Um, you definitely wouldn't have suited up any games, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, the Western Conference is the Western Conference right now. It looks like what the East used to be.
yeah,
Bad. Now it's just switched.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, in all fairness, the to me the Western Conference always has a bigger competition and rivalry pool, and it's not just rivalries between teams; it's always rivalries between players.
yeah,
So, like Eastern Conference always has exciting games. Don't get me wrong, but the Western Conference is always player on player rivalry, especially when it's players against LeBron.
yeah,
And like the reason why the Lakers are not doing so well is mainly because of too much star power. I mean, it's like the Nets and it's everything else. If you have too much star power on one team, something's bound to happen, and it is either gonna be egos are blasting off, or the chemistry is not where it is.
yeah. I mean, you got Russell Westbrook, who is a point guard, but also a triple double machine, and sometimes he tries to create the triple double instead of having it naturally happen. LeBron, we know it has to have the ball in his hands. Um, Antonio Davis hasn't been healthy for a while.
Oh, Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said Antonio, didn't I?
Yeah.
Sorry, Antonio. Great UTEP player, great pacer slash. Um, I think he played for Trailblazers too, but I just think it's just a thing. Turn around. I mean, look at the Kings.
Yeah. I mean, the Kings are at 500 right now, 6-6,
So
which is great.
I mean,
And they're the biggest shock to me right now with the Kings, because the Kings are just one of those teams that just does not get a lot of respect.
yeah,
I mean, they are a California team along with the Lakers, Clippers. So yeah, but okay, yes or no? Westbrook is the reason why many players do not earn a ring.
I don't necessarily think it's Westbrook. I think it's necessary the how it's kind of hard to say. It's not necessarily the way Westbrook plays, but there's usually people get lost in what their roles are.
Okay.
If you got Westbrook and Bradley Beal on the same team, Westbrook's going to be your guard. He's going to be your assist guy. Bradley Beal's probably going to be your two. But when does Bradley Beal get the chance to take over the game? When Westbrook, it's not like Magic where he's looking for Byron Scott or Kareem or James Worthy to do. Magic could take over a game whenever he needed to, but he didn't have to take over the game, right away.
Right.
It's just I don't think Westbrook is he's not Allen Iverson type where he's a two guard playing a one.
Yeah.
But he's a one that sometimes plays like a two.
Yeah.
And that kind of your point guard, you want your point guard to be unless you do this, you put two shooting guards on the court and have your small forward play the point forward position, or you have someone like Djokovic from Denver, who is a great passer and the leading assist guy a lot for the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Have him be the main passer and get everybody else the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to have someone that takes that, from him. I don't think
LeBron used to manage the game
age.
well. He used to manage the game well.
He's not in the part of his career where he's going to play the point forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not in the part of his career where he's gonna. He's not at. It's just. I think it's just the way the systems are around Westbrook. And I have never considered Westbrook the main star
Yeah.
because like with OKC, Durant,
Yeah.
Houston, uh, Harden, going to the Wizards.
He was a star.
Wizards. You are automatically over Bradley Bill or whoever they get there. Now you're with LA. Now you're not really the what are you, the third option?
Yeah.
And now you're coming off the bench where you're a primary option, which is good because you're a six man, which you can do more.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird for basketball players. You got to know what your role is on your teams
Yeah.
because you could be really great at like intramural sports and where you're doing good, but when you go to play in like a league, then you might not be the number one or two options like you were in intramural. You might be the fourth, fifth option,
Exactly.
or coming off the bench. So it just depends what it is.
Because like the reason why I asked the question, does Westbrook hold players from gaining a championship, is because like you said, OKC with he was with Durant hard, like that OKC team was perfect. But the thing was that Westbrook would try to control the game when he didn't need to. Like at that point, yeah, have Durant be the ringleader like he usually is on the court, because when Durant has a shot, he'll take it, or when he needs to, he'll pass it. But then Harden, you give Harden Harden had the clutch shot. Westbrook tried to get the clutch shot.
Yeah.
So to me, Westbrook held Durant because once Durant got traded, he won two championships.
Yeah.
So like Westbrook needs to be on a team where he is the main star, but at the same time he needs to do what LeBron did and what other players have done for many franchises and be actually a leader. Like he doesn't need to be the man to do the triple double. He needs to be the man to actually have control of the game, but also have that presence. Like Westbrook can shoot a three. Is it efficient? No, but he can shoot it and he can pass. He just chooses not to.
Yeah.
So that's me. I mean, I wish Anthony Davis can go back to the Pelicans. Honestly,
Yeah, I do too.
like Zion at 4 and Anthony at 5.
Yeah.
That would be scary. Like that would be the perfect thing for the Pelicans. That way they got defense and they got people that can actually shoot free throws. Because Davis is a good free throw shooter. Everyone forgets that.
Yeah.
The Lakers' biggest thing was letting go of Carrasco. And now Carrasco is on his own and he's being a star player in his own right. I mean, granted, it's not as big right now, but he's still a beloved guy because of the way he does the game. So, but
What were my main threes?
main three guys people should collect in the Western Conference. This one is actually a little bit easier for me.
Well, it's probably I can only actually come with three off the top of my head.
But kind of hard to rank them.
Depends. I mean, Damian Lillard from the Trailblazers.
Agreed.
Luka Doncic from the Mavericks, and Zion Williams. I mean, Zion's not been healthy a lot, but Zion's rookie cards are very inexpensive right now. So
except that Prism one.
Yeah,
Prism one is iconic.
But just those three come off the top of my head.
Okay, fair. My top three is gonna be a look at one, just because of how his market has rose since his rookie year.
Yeah, Luka definitely could be number one. Yeah.
I like Lillard, but he's actually fourth for me. Second is gonna be the center from Denver. The
Joker.
Yeah,
The Joker.
Yeah, because like he being back-to-back MVPs as a center is ridiculous.
It's not an easy thing to do in the NBA.
It's not
now.
And like, he's a true big man since Shaq, honestly, because who really has been that controlling? I mean, Ben Wallace was great on defense.
Well, he was more a power forward than he was. Oh, Ben. I'm sorry. Ben Wallace, not Rashid.
Yeah, Ben.
Ben was a great defender, not a great scorer, but a great defender.
And Dwight, once he got the ball, he could shoot. It's just that, and he is a defensive player of the year multiple times. Agreed, but that guy scores like how Shaq did. Has a better free throw percentage, and when you need him to, he will create situations to where Denver can score. Yeah. So him gaining MVP is because of how he controls the game. So that's why he's my number 2. And then at number 3, I got Devin Booker. So Booker is great, and just the fact of his story with Kobe, and just the inspiration that Kobe gave him to be the player that he needs to be. He has done it, and him and Paul, if they do not get a ring in the next 2 years, because Paul is almost gone. Paul needs a ring. I'm sorry, but Chris Paul needs a ring.
I mean, I could have easily put Devin Booker in the top 3.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Booker's just an awesome player. I mean, just people just barely finding out what Booker. It's like Mitchell. People just finding out about Donovan Mitchell right now, and when you've been talking about these guys for years, it's like these guys are.
Oh, you know what? How about this? More disappointing player right now, Westbrook or Jordan Poole?
Poole's still young. I mean, Westbrook might be it this year, but I mean, it's probably because people are just harping.
Yeah.
But you expect where Poole was last year to make that next other step. But then again, when you got the 3-headed monster, sometimes it's hard for you to make that next step when you don't have the role to make that next step. You know what I mean?
Fair, but Poole got that contract.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm saying Poole, because Westbrook is at least producing, Poole hasn't.
Yeah.
Especially with that contract. So because of that, yeah, it happens, especially seeing that in the NFL right now. But yeah. I mean, Poole to me is a little bit of a disappointing right now. He turned it around in his last game.
Yeah.
He did well, but he needs to show more because if Curry can put him as the 6th man, he'll be great. So,
yeah.
All right. Are we going to go to our Week 11 predictions?
Yep, let's go.
Thursday night game, Titans versus Packers at Lambeau.
Well, the Packers got off the snide and beat the Cowboys this weekend. But Ryan Fitzpatrick and Derrick Henry looked really good, especially on that
Fitzpatrick.
Or Ryan Tannehill, sorry.
I was about to say, did Fitzpatrick come out of retirement?
He might come off the field, though. He does do the games on Thursdays, so on the sideline. So you never know. He might dress up. That's a tough one.
And plus, the Packers' new wide receiver, their 4th round rookie.
He did play good yesterday.
Well, and I think Rodgers finally found his next receiver.
You know what I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with Green Bay. Just they need to win 2 in a row is what they need to do. So
I want to say Titans because of Henry, and the Packers don't do well against the run.
Nope.
But it's at Lambeau, and it's supposed to be cold that day.
Yeah.
Tennessee doesn't do well in cold situations, so I'm going with Packers because of that.
This one should be a good game.
Bears versus Falcons.
I'm gonna go with Bears. I like how Justin Fields is playing right now.
And the Falcons haven't done bad either. They've had close games except for that 1 week against New Orleans. I'm going with Bears just because of how Fields is doing. Yeah, Fields is being ridiculous right now. The next game, even though their game tonight against the Commanders, we don't know it. But with the first win for Jeff Saturday as the Colts head coach, Eagles versus Colts.
I'm going with the Eagles. I just don't see the Colts beating the Eagles. Unless the Eagles just play bad tonight, then it's possible. Because they will have a game where they're going to play down to their competition.
Yeah.
And it could be easy to play down to their competition. So,
well, I see them being the Commanders just because it's divisional.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a team other than Dallas to beat the Eagles.
John Taylor looked good yesterday.
Oh, yeah, he did. And the defense showed out, too. So the fact that the defense actually did better, Saturday understands the game, and I don't think a lot. The fans are happy. I'm happy at Saturday's the head coach. There's a lot of analysts that disagreed with Saturday being the head coach. It's just the fact that I understand why, especially Bill Cohen. He said that it was disrespectful
You mean
for
Bill
him.
Cowher?
Yeah, Bill Cowher. My bad. He said it was disrespectful. It just he should have had some the actual coaches be the head coach, and not bring someone that hasn't even been in the college league. But like Saturday said in his opening in the press conference when he became head coach, I'm not expecting to be here after 8 games. If we do well, I will consider it. But I'm gonna do my dang best to make sure that this team goes where it is. Yesterday it showed, and he respected all the players and the coaching staff. So Saturday is that respectable coach, and still shows that respectable player he was. I'm going with the Colts,
Okay.
with the Eagles.
Hey.
That'll be my sleeper pick. This is going to be a good game. Jets versus Patriots.
I'm going Jets, Jets.
I'm going with the Jets as well. Next one. This one's going to be interesting. Commanders versus Texans.
They played a tough game, the Texans did. I'm going to go with the Texans.
You going with the Texans?
Yeah.
Hinkie is still the quarterback, correct?
I think he is. I think he'll be quarterbacking the Commanders in that game.
Just because of that, I like Hinkie. I think he's just a solid quarterback. He is the player. He should be the franchise player right now, but of course Wentz with that dang contract. But I'm going with Commanders. Rams versus Saints.
Well, they might not have Stafford, and they might not have Cooper Kupp. So I'm going to go with the Saints in this.
I was already going to pick Saints just because it's in New Orleans. It's tough to beat the Saints in New Orleans. Browns versus Bills.
The Bills are going to look to kill the Browns from this last weekend, so I'm picking Bills.
I'm picking Bills as well. Allen is just too passionate to be losing like that, so Josh is going to turn around. This next one will be a good one. Panthers versus Ravens.
Going Ravens.
I'm going Ravens just because I just think Lamar's at a different level right now. Lions
That's going to be a good game.
versus Giants. Lions 2-0 the last 2 weeks against the Giants, who have had an unbelievable season.
I like the Giants just a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball. And I like their defense, the way it's playing, so I'm going to pick the Giants in this one.
I picked the Lions last week.
Wow, the Niners have the Monday night game?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I picked the Lions last week just because I thought they...
No, they weren't. They had a good game. So, I mean...
It's just that their defense just gives up a lot, and there's going to be one key factor of the Giants, Saquon. So I'm going with Saquon with the Giants.
No, he had a good game, too.
Oh, yeah. Raiders versus Broncos.
I'm going Raiders just because how emotional Carr was at the end of the game.
And that pure emotion is going to go buck wild.
Yeah, so I just don't like how the Broncos are playing.
Broncos, let's ride to another loss.
Yeah.
Cowboys versus Vikings.
That's going to be a good game. And it's in Minnesota. I'm going to go Vikings. I'm picking it against my Cowboys. I'm going Vikings in that game. I like how Cousins playing and especially getting the ball and I mean Cook's looking unbelievable. Defense is playing well. So
And Cook is finally healthy again, which is good. But my key thing is it took the last quarter to beat the Bills.
yeah.
Prescott is still questionable at times, but there's one flex option. Tony Pollard. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Bengals versus Steelers.
Going Bengals.
Going Bengals on that one. I liked how Pickett turned it around and he was better at managing.
Mm-hmm.
Burrow is still questionable. That offense is still questionable. Their defense is good. I'm going with the Steelers on that one.
It's a rivalry game, so it's a.
Oh, now speaking of rivalries, Chiefs versus Chargers.
I'm going Chiefs on this one.
Oh, I'm going with Chiefs on that one too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Chargers almost at the Niners, but Niners are Niners. And speaking of the Niners versus Cardinals.
Niners.
I'm going with Niners too. So, Seattle is going to be taking a break after their loss this week in Germany.
Yep.
And so are the Bucks too.
Yeah.
So, Bucks and Seahawks are on their bye week.
It should be the last bye week because it leads into Thanksgiving next week.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be some good games.
There's going to be some great games. And we'll definitely be talking about the predictions at this moment. Next week, do we want to do our top favorite players collecting in basketball?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Any San Antonio Spurs, Gervin, Robinson, Duncan.
I meant the show for next week.
Oh, yes. Yes. See, I'm giving you already a free preview already. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. I mean.
Okay. And we'll because I mean football is just being football right now, so we can do our top ones and
we could do Christmas. Also talked about cards for Christmas or sports memorabilia or.
Oh yeah.
When we do that, what great Christmas ideas.
Ooh, okay. So we can do deals for the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, deals for the holidays and also our favorite basketball players collecting at this time. Yep. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
So that'll be our episode for next week, y'all.
Yep.
All right. Any final thoughts, Dad?
No, but Chris us on good old Facebook, Card Guy, and
Collectible Chris on TikTok, and we appreciate for y'all subscribing and also following the page. We do appreciate it.
And we will talk to you later. See you next week, guys. Bye.